Hello, Angel here. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before, and if you're new, welcome to the space. So I was watching a video by Mystic Mand, hashtag tarot emoji match, and Mystic Mand was matching decks to emojis, and I was like, this is a really cool hashtag. Where has this come from? And the hashtag was actually created by Han at Simply Han. So I thought, well, I'm going to watch Mand's video first, and then I'm going to click back and watch Han's video. And when I watched the video, I saw that I was actually tagged in that video to do a response. So apologies, Han. I hadn't seen that notice. I never received that notification that I'd been tagged. So apologies, but yeah, I ended up doing a tag anyway. So all's well that ends well. So we have got I want to say like 8 or 10 prompts. I'm sorry, I didn't count. I don't count. I just wing it. I fly by the seat of my pants. Let's get into it. So the premise of this tag, we are matching emojis with decks, which I love. I use emojis quite a lot. I can't help myself. I do try to tone my emojis down when I'm messaging people, even like emails and things like that. But emojis, they just feel so friendly, I think, obviously depending on the emoji. So I'm a bit of an emoji person, I've got to say. So we are starting with the hardest prompt. Han, if you're watching this, this was the hardest. The artist palette, the artist paint palette, a deck with my favourite art. Oh, this is a real tough one. Which deck did I pick? I actually picked 2 because I'm a cheeky monkey. Let's take a look. So I chose the Japaritsi Tarot and the Gustav Klimt Tarot because I think both decks are absolutely stunning. This was a really tough deck. I could have chosen a number of decks in my collection that have really beautiful artwork, but I kind of stopped on these 2 at the end. So these are the backs for the Gustav Klimt Tarot. Let's pop that out the way. Let's pop that here. I haven't edged mine yet, which I'd like to do in black. And the Japaritsi Tarot, let's pop that there just for a wee second. These are the backs. I haven't edged mine either. Don't think I'm gonna. I don't feel a need to edge them. I don't pair these together, just so you know, but I'm gonna, be a cheeky Mowgli and show you both decks together because they are blooming gorgeous. Should we focus in a wee bit? Let's do that. Okay, is that a bit better? I think so. Now the Japaritsi, that's a new name. The Japaritsi Tarot, like, brings things bubbling to the surface for me. It's a deck that kind of is, it's a very intuitive deck, I feel, although I do go to the guidebook for it as well, but I do tend to get these intuitive hits bubbling to the surface, and I think it's because the artwork is so thought-provoking, I would say. Now I adore Gustav Klimt's artwork generally, and so when I saw there was a tarot deck when I first pretty much started out my journey, I decided to grab this deck as well, and I used it one Christmas I think it was a December I used it, strangely enough, with the Star Child Tarot and what was the deck, the Oracle deck. Oh, my mind's a blank, but it was a really excellent combination. I really liked it. Warning for nudity, sorry, I should put that earlier. I really adore both decks. Really adore both decks. Initially I found this one really difficult to read. I mentioned that in a different video actually, and I was having a bit of a clear out maybe like 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, something like that, and I was thinking, should I release this one, should I rehome this one because I'm not using it? And then I got out the box to kind of like have a flick through, and then it was like someone had switched the switch and I was like, oh, I can suddenly read it. So that's when I pulled it forward and used it for December, for Christmas. Yeah, and it paired really nicely, as mentioned, with the Star Child Tarot. This has got like gold foiling on. Can you see that? Can you see that? I'm probably showing it really badly. There we go. Look, woo. Yeah, I just really enjoy it, and I did some artwork based on Gustav Klimt's The Kiss, which now sits on my altar in Pride of Place, which I'm not going to show you because I've shown it in a certain amount of videos already, and you're probably tired of seeing it, so I'm not going to bore you. Should we move on to the next prompt? I think we should, but let's just enjoy a few more cards because they are blooming gorgeous. I've actually, it was quite a while ago I pulled this deck out and I'd forgotten it had gold foiling. How I could have forgotten that, I don't know. And with Gustav Klimt's work, I love, like, I love this kind of thing with the eyes going on. I think it really intrigues me, like all this pattern work going on. It really intrigues me. And what was the deck I was looking at recently? I think it was the facets tarot. I was like, I don't know if I should use it or not. And in some of the artwork, it's also got this kind of this patterning going on. And I was like, it feels like it's a bit of a nudge that I should be using this deck. And I tried, but unfortunately, there was other decks in my collection or in my rotation that month that won out. So I didn't. I love this. Oh, love it. Anyway, yes. So let's move along to the next prompt. So the next emoji was the book emoji. This is the best tarot book or guidebook. This is also a really tough one, actually. You saved the toughest ones for you started with the toughest, what's the word, prompts. Then it's all plain sailing, I feel. Okay, so I think, I'm not going to say they're the best, but I'm going to say they are the guidebooks I'm really appreciating right now. And that would be Brian Froud's Fairies Oracle guidebook. The text is by Jessica Macbeth, and even the Season of the Witches guidebooks. Now, I really appreciate these guidebooks because not only, this is a really excellent example, not only do you have, like, you've got your picture, you've got your keywords, you've got your description, you've even got, not all the cards, but some of the cards, you've got like crystals for Samhain, herbs for Samhain, you've got a reversed meaning as well. Then some of the on some of the cards you have like recipes or like a little ritual or a little spell or something like that, and I think that's really, really good. It kind of gives you, even if you don't want to follow the actual recipe or the spell that's written in the guidebook, it kind of gives you a bit of a jumping off point to create something something yourself. I think that's a really nice little touch. So for that reason, I'm loving these guidebooks. Really, really enjoy them. This one's obviously coming out for the darker season. That sounded ominous, didn't it? Yeah, and this guidebook, I've mentioned this recently, that I was really nervous about using this deck generally, but it's actually been really kind to me. Knock on wood. I would like it to continue to be gentle and kind with me, please, because I don't want to be kicked up the bum anytime really soon. Not at the moment, anyway. Yeah, and there is just so much to delve into. So much to delve into. And I really like the way the guidebook is written. It's really... I don't feel that Jessica is talking at me. I feel that that they're sharing their experience within the description of the guidebook. That was a really bad explanation. I'm sorry, but if you've got this deck, you know. If you know, you know. So I'm not going to say they're my absolutist favouritists. That's not a word. Guidebooks, but they are guidebooks I'm really enjoying right at the minute, and that kind of jumped into my mind when I read the prompt. Let's move on to the next prompt. Prompt number 3 is the brain emoji, a deck that made you dive deep in thought. I think it's going to be this one. This deck put me through the ringer. If you've seen my channel, you'll have seen this deck, and it's forward now for the work I'm doing, going down the rabbit hole into Wonderland, and this facet of self team building exercise that I'm doing. That was really like random, but if you've seen my recent video, or quite recent video, about my September intentions, you'll know what I'm rabbiting on about. Didn't expect this one to be such a not hard hitter, but I didn't expect it to bring forward so much that it brought forward, and it really made me stop and think and dig deep, and it brought a lot of things bubbling to the surface again. Oh, it really did. Oh, it really did. So this made me go dig deep, dive deep. Yeah, and really take forward some things that I might not have been ready to take forward and look at. But I did, and I'm happy I did. And my work with this deck continues because it's amazing. Prompt number 4. So prompt number 4 is the coffee or tea emoji, a deck that makes you feel cozy. it's got to be this one. And it's not because of the season, it's because of the feelings that it brings up in me. I'm also going to be a cheeky Mowgli and bring up this one as well, because I thought you might not want to see the Halloween tarot, being it's, you know, autumn, and everyone possibly is showing the autumn decks. But this is a really cosy deck for me. Let me show you both. Let me grab the cards and I shall give you a bit of a glimpse. So here we've got the backs of the cards for the Halloween tarot. I'm not edging mine. I have no plans on edging mine. And here we have the German deck, which is, I think it's called Journey to the Soul tarot in English. It's gilded out the box, which I love. And I stumbled upon this one totally by accident on Amazon. Must be like a year ago. And I was like, oh, I like this. Purchased it. Had some amazing readings with it. It became like a favourite. It would be one of my top 10 decks that I saved from a fire. Lord forbid that my apartment should catch fire. Sorry, there was a cat here. That was probably really an irritating sound. Sorry, I do apologise. Yeah, and so I'm showing both because this one, the Halloween tarot, takes me back to being a child. I've mentioned before that I used to have Halloween parties, obviously at Halloween, and my friends used to come around and we used to dress up as witches. And obviously, you know, it was like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that. I had, you know, parties, several years in a row. And I've also mentioned before that I got so excited for these parties that I was sick several days beforehand. And luckily, apart from one time, on one occasion, I was better by the time the day of the party arrived. But there was one occasion when I was still sick. So I was laying on the sofa with a sick bucket beside me when my friends played. I just watched on because I didn't want Mum to cancel the party. So and my mum was like, "Well, who's going to play with with your friends?" And I was like, "They'll play by themselves. They'll play with me." And of course, I was so sick. I remember, being really poorly, but it was great fun, good times. So for that reason, I don't know. It's comfy, cozy. It's nostalgia with this deck for me, and so this deck comes out during the year. It's not just an October deck or Halloween deck for me. Look at this little guy. I love this. It's so cute. Yeah, and this deck, once I'd purchased it and got it home and I started using it, I'm not going to say it's a gentle deck, but this is one of my favourite cards. I don't know, it's just, I feel cozy using it. I feel like I'm held when I read with this deck. It's not soft and fluffy, but I just feel held and supported, and I think that's what makes me feel cozy when I get this deck out. I don't tend to use this so much in the summer, this one. I tend to use it more, the seasons. And because it's got the cool tones going on, I feel. Yeah, I bring it out more, spring. It's not spring, sorry, winter and spring. Yeah, and so even autumn, maybe. No, maybe not autumn, I don't know. I would bring it out, willy-nilly whenever, to be quite honest. But, generally I feel that it's more of a winter deck. Maybe just because of the cool colours. I don't know. Ignore what I'm saying. I'm totally, I would totally bring this out whenever I needed this kind of cosy, supportive energy. I love this card as well. This reminds me of Netflix's series. What's that called? The Fall of Usher, maybe it's called. Anyway, one more card and we're moving along. Yeah, love both. Totally different aesthetics, but I think they are amazing. Next prompt. So, prompt number 5 is Crossed Swords, the emoji of crossed swords, a deck you use for ancestral work. Now, I use all 3 of these decks. I initially started with this one and this one. This is the Tower of Mystical Moments. It's in silver out the box. Mine's taken a bit of a beating because I use this very often. This has now been designated or allocated or, whatever the word is, for my maternal ancestors. This is the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck by... Oh, the name is escaping me, apologies. And this is the Dreamkeeper's Tarot, which has come into use for ancestral work for my paternal ancestors. I would say at the beginning of this year, but don't quote me on that. I'm going to flip a few cards. I don't pair these 3 together generally. I read with this one, then I pull separately with this one, and then I pull like a final message, or if I want, you know, on a daily basis, if I want a quick message from my ancestors, I pull from this deck. I've done some really potent, powerful healing work with this deck. Not so much with this deck. I've mentioned before, this started off as my shadow work deck, actually. And then the Darkwood Tarot came into my life, and that, you know, totally elbowed its way into into the shadow work deck position in my collection. And so this one kind of was a bit redundant. And then I was looking at this deck, I can't remember why, maybe it was for a video, and I was thinking I would really like to use this deck, and that kind of thought stayed in my mind. And then I really started feeling a need or a want to work with my paternal ancestors, which I hadn't done for various reasons. And this deck ended up being the deck that I used for my paternal ancestors. Long story, apologies. So yeah, I haven't done so much work with this deck because I am tentatively, is that the word I'm looking for, stepping into working with my paternal ancestors. There's a whole story behind that. I don't want to go into that because it's all a big load of toot, and we're here to look at decks. Yay! So yeah, I adore all three. I really enjoyed this one for shadow work as well. Even when I worked with this one for shadow work, I did feel a bit of an ancestral vibe coming through, which was very interesting. Yeah, this one has blown my socks off on numerous occasions, and this one is just, you know, excellent. I can't fault them. I think these would, maybe not so much this one, but these two are definitely decks I would grab if, you know, if I needed to evacuate. So yeah, those were the three for that prompt. I know it should only have been one. I chose three. I know, I'm sorry, I'm breaking the rules. What can I do? What can I say? I go rogue from the get-go, as Candy from Candy Soul and Soul would say. Okay, prompt number 6. Crystal is the next emoji. Best or favourite gilded deck? Oh, let's get into it. Now, I don't know what you think, but I feel when I'm doing a tarot tag, I feel the rules are, there ain't no rules. I feel that, you know, we can kind of pretty much do what we like. So I'm being cheeky. I'm showing you two. I'm sorry. I apologise in advance. We've got Venice Witch Shadow Edition. I feel the other edition, the Venice Witch is coming out in English very, very soon. And I'm also going to show you a deck that I've gilded myself. Not gilded, edged, sorry. Edged is the word I'm looking for, which is the Kawaii Tarot. Let's start with my favourite gilding out of the box. Now, Moon Power Tarot is really one of my most favourite gilding, but I've shown that one several times, so I wanted to show this one because it's blooming gorgeous. Well, it's not going to show up very well now on camera, is it? Yeah, no, yeah, no. It's not showing up very well on camera, but it's like pink and sparkly, and this is a mass market French deck, and the gilding holds up really nicely, or mine has anyway. Can you see that? Probably not very well. Oh, I promise you, it's really, really amazing. I'll show you some of the cards very, very quickly because you might not have seen this deck. I'm not going to be using this for the darker season, even though it's a shadow work deck, because it's, you know, I'm kind of moving away from the colourful decks and I'm going towards the more sombre tones or the autumnal tones. But I blooming love these cards, and although they're in French, I do find them really intuitive. I mean, this gives me a labyrinth vibe. I don't know, I just love it. Anyway, my second choice was the Kawaii Tarot. These are the backs, and this is the edging that I did. And this is not showing up very well on camera, but in real life, it's like vibrant and fantastic. And I just, you know, split the deck and edged it in about, I don't know, 8 different colours. Here's a couple of cards. Again, these decks are going to be like taking a bit of a rest for a wee while, as I'm feeling a real draw, which I didn't expect, because I was really totally in on my whole rainbow deck collection ride. I don't know, I can't think what I'm trying to say here. But as mentioned, I'm going towards the sombre autumnal tones because I'm obviously, you know, I'm feeling the season. Yeah, let's move on to the next prompt. Prompt number 7, the island emoji. The deserted island deck. So a deck that you would take with you to a deserted island. I was kind of thinking, first of all, like some kind of beachy kind of themed deck. But then I suddenly thought about this deck. Because if I'm on a beach, if I'm on a deserted island, which I don't want to be, to be honest, I'd like, you know, a cook to be there who could cook me some fantastic food, and like, you know, a nice little bar, and a nice little, you know, hut or something, or type, you know, like glamping kind of situation. I don't want to be, you know, deserted really, although being by myself would be quite nice. I quite like that. But anyway, yeah, so I'm thinking, if I was seeing sand and sea every day, all day, 24/7, I think I'd want like a little reminder of home, I'm going to say, and like the earthiness and the what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of a word. So I'm just going to show you. These are the backs. I've edged mine in blue, and I haven't used this deck as a tarot deck. I've used this more as an intuitive oracle almost. If you've got this deck, you'll know that it's the Major Arcana reversed. I still haven't got my head around that. Hence the reason I've used this previously as an oracle instead. Guidebook is really good. I do tend to go to the guidebook even when I'm using it as this intuitive oracle, and these images feel really grounded and earthy, and it feels like I'm you know, outside digging my fingers down into the soil, into the ground, and getting dirt under my nails, in a good way. You know, it feels like I'm absorbing myself in that real earthy energy. I hope that makes sense. And so this is the kind of deck I feel I would need if I was on this deserted island, to remind me. I love this. I absolutely adore that. Yeah, so that's my choice. I love this. I'm going to stop on that because I love the wolf energy. Let's move on to prompt number 8. So prompt number 8 is the moon emoji, my wisest deck. I think that's going to be this one. I do have quite a few that are very wise, but this one feels... This again gives me an ancestral vibe. These are the backs, sorry. And I edged mine in black, which I do regret. I wish I'd edged it in a different colour. That's irrelevant. And the card, I'm just going to say as well, the cardstock is quite thick. And I tend to use these as like... I obviously use it as an oracle, but I also tend to use them as altar cards as well. And when I first started using this deck, I definitely got a very strong and female ancestral voice through this deck. And I'm suddenly wondering, because I'm obviously doing my facets of self work, team building work this month and next month, and goodness knows how long forward, because I don't know. I'm wondering if this might tap me into my inner witch facet. And I used the Witch Sister Tarot for that facet of self. And I'm wondering if this and that would pair nicely. Anyway, sorry, back to the prompt. That was, I'm going on a bit of a tangent. Stop, squirrel brain, focus. This feels really wise to me. And I think the images invoke or evoke, I'm not sure. I'll put the name on the screen. I'll put the word on the screen. They like it, yeah, it really brings something out in me, something almost primal, I want to say. Is that the wrong word? I don't know. I can't explain it, but it's just it's so wild and empowered, this deck. And it kind of, it's almost like this hand that reaches in and pulls that out of me, which, you know, I would love to bring forward myself, but I don't feel brave enough. And this is like, this kind of takes your hand and it's, you know, it's like, you know, let that wild side free, let it be raw and real and empowered, and embrace it, you know, embrace that side of yourself. So for that reason, this deck feels really wise to me. I'm just going to also dig into the guidebook really quickly. I really like the writing of Danielle Dulski, I want to say the name is Danielle Dulski. I'm just going to give you a quick flick just to give you a bit of an example. And we've got like obviously a little picture, we've got the name of the card and the keyword, and then you've got like grandmother speaks, which I don't think that's not the reason it gives me an ancestral vibe, a feminine ancestral vibe, but it gives you like it's almost like your grandmother, speaking to you, this advice that they're giving to you. And then you even have a morning ritual and a moonlight ritual, which I really, really appreciate. And it's not too much. It's it's enough. It gives you that starting point. I really like it. I really like it. And I'm thinking this is probably going to come out for the dark season. I really enjoy it. I don't use it all the time, but there are certain, not even seasons, there are certain moments that I can hear it calling to me and I need to bring it forward and pull a card. Yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah, let's move on to the next prompt. Next prompt is plain, a deck that you use for travelling. Well, that would obviously be the Pasta Tarot. I could have also chosen the Adventure Tarot. I haven't edged mine, I'm not going to. This is like, is it Pretend Linen Cast Talk? I don't know. It's the mass market deck anyway. I almost took this with me to Crete when I went last year. Oh, goodness me, is it a year ago I went to Crete? Holy moly, that time flies when you're having fun, does it not? I was having a real moment with this deck then, and I've mentioned before, this deck is a saucy, spacey deck. It doesn't want to do any of the practicing. It wants to, go, rip up the map and just go on a road trip and just do it. It doesn't want to talk about it, doesn't want to plan it, it just wants to be there in the moment, doing it, living it, having the experience. And so for that reason, this deck would most definitely be the deck I would take on my travels. If not this one, it would be the Adventure Tarot. I think I've mentioned this year I've been trying to embody the Knight of Wands energy, and I've got like a little mini shrine right here on my altar space to remind me of that. And so this deck and even the Adventure Tarot has kind of also embodied that Knight of Wands energy. It gives me that adventurous, the adventure that's off on a quest. It's that energy. And obviously, I adore the colours. It just warms my soul, and I love it. I love it. Okay, let's move on to the next prompt. Next prompt is ribbon, last deck that was gifted to you. Now this is going to sound quite sad, but I don't have people that buy gifts for me. I don't. I'm a bit of what am I trying to say here? I'm going to say my family and me, generally my family as a whole, we're only 4 really people, we are not friends. I'm going to put it like that. So anyway, so Christmas and birthdays, I purchase presents for myself, and I also purchase presents for myself during the year. And to get to the meat and the potatoes, this is the latest gift that I purchased for myself. This was a second-hand deck. I found it on eBay, I think. Cosmic Cycles deck. Haven't used it as yet. The box is a bit dinged up, but that's fine. Don't mind that. As is the guidebook, but that's all good. It means it's been loved and hugged and squeezed and used and, blah de blah de blah de blah de blah, yada yada yada. These are the edges. I'm not sure if the deck comes edged or if it's been edged. I don't mind. I don't mind either way. Should we zoom in? Yes, let's. This is still in order because, I haven't used it yet. I've been a wee bit too busy with my leaping down the rabbit hole to Wonderland, and so I haven't had time to use it as yet. But I'm wondering if it's going to come out in maybe like January. Now I love this. I know I'm thinking about the tones as well. I like the vibe. I think I've mentioned this before. This feels a bit like Disney-like to me. This, it's a bit, I'm not going to say, it feels, cartoony, but not in a, I don't mean that, negatively. I like the art style of this. Love this. So yeah, I saw it. I think as well previously, I've actually seen this deck previously on maybe Lisa Pepez's channel a long time ago. And I didn't even think I'd be able to get my hands on it. And then when I saw it on eBay, I was like, oh, yes, I think I want that. And hence the reason I, gifted myself it. So yeah, Oh, there we go. There's the backs. They're the backs. So yes, that was the latest gift. That was the latest deck that was gifted to me by me, myself, and I. Can I be so bold as to add it as a prompt? Can I add a prompt? Am I allowed to do that? I think so. Let's do it. So I felt I couldn't, I had to add this emoji as a prompt. The rainbow emoji, your most colourful deck, and I'm going to choose this one. Now I've got a lot of decks that are colourful. I'm not going to lie to you. This is the Rebel Heart Tarot. I love this deck. It's mass market. Love the backs. They're gorgeous. And look, I edged it in all different rainbow colours, which are not, the camera is not doing them justice, unfortunately. These cards are blooming amazing. Absolutely adore the colours, obviously. This is exceptionally colourful, this deck. So look away if you are a colourphobe. Wait, what? Colourphobic. Wait, what? Wait, what? I need more coffee. I can feel it in my bones right now. I need more coffee. Yeah, and I purchased this deck because I saw it on Candy's channel, and I fell in love with it. Purchased it. This must have been at this time, maybe August last year, something like that. And then I moved, maybe even earlier, June, July, can't remember, doesn't matter. Then I moved, and it was actually Candy who gave me the idea to use this for the energy of my new house, my new place that I moved into. And so that's what I did. That's what this deck has kind of like cemented itself for in my practice. It kind of connects me with the energy of my home and what's going on around me. And although it's like feels really, you've got animal heads on people, obviously. It feels quite, not fantasy, but a bit like, out there. It's actually a really grounded deck. I know that sounds like quite a bit crazy, but it is. It really feels grounded and stable, and it's got both feet on the floor, or both paws on the floor. No, both feet on the floor. Deep roots into the ground. It's supportive, and yeah. And actually, surprisingly, I actually pair this one with the. Wait, let me grab it. Okay, sorry. I pair it with this deck, Earth Blessings Oracle cards. These are the backs, different backs for different seasons. Yeah, and these two together, oh, they just speak so. They're so chatty. They are really so chatty. So so yeah, that was my prompt. That was my added prompt. And those were all of the prompts from Han. Thank you so much for such a fun tag. Really, really enjoyed it. Have you been to Han's channel? Go and take a look. I'm going to link their video. I'm going to link Man's video, and I'm going to link Han's channel as well in the description box. Please go over. Please give them a like and a subscribe. Share some love. And yeah, I'm going to thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. Take care, and I really hope to see you in the next video. Toodaloo.